Hey there, interwebs. It doesn't come up much on the channel, but I'm actually a massive sci-fi geek, specifically a Niner Trekkie browncoat, for those of you who know what that means, and I've written a lot of sci-fi. I just haven't published any of it yet. And as a science fiction author, I have a pet theory. All classical, i.e. Greek, mythology translates stupidly well to a sci-fi setting. Ulysses 31 is the Odyssey is a Franco-Japanese space anime, and Roswell That Ends Well has a time-traveling Oedipus Rex. You see, Greek mythology is replete with capricious gods who could just as easily be hyper-advanced aliens with blue and orange morality, far-flung islands home to monsters which can become far-flung planets, boats to go from one to the next can get changed to starships, and recurring themes of exploration and the journey back home again, which are universal stories no matter where they're set. Anyone into sci-fi is probably going to be familiar with the trope known as Planet of Hats. This is where the entire population of a planet all shares the same quirk, which is often the only thing that separates them from humans. Klingons are all warriors, Vulcans are all high-minded scholars, and Ferengi are all hyper-capitalists. No need to correct me on any of the minutiae I just glossed over. I assure you I already know about it, and I'm just making a general point. To understand how this relates to mythology, you must first understand Greek geography. You see, ancient Greece wasn't one place. It was a bunch of disparate islands full of different groups of people, and the mythology reflects that with its countless islands, each home to a different tribe of weirdos. Take Planet of Hats, change planet to island, and you're done. You may now be asking yourself why I'm comparing mythology to science fiction, and to be honest, this whole introduction has been nothing more than a roundabout way to introduce the real topic of the video. As far as the ancient Greeks knew, the next island over could be home to a Cyclops or a tribe of lesbian cannibals or yet another one of Zeus's many bastard sons, but even they still considered Africa to be a land of mythical wonder. Speaking of wonder, have you ever wondered where the giraffe comes from? It's Africa. The giraffe comes from Africa, dummy. That's what this entire video is about. According to the African Shona people, the giraffe got her long neck by stretching to the heavens to hear God more clearly. Of course, we all know this isn't how inherited genetic traits work. The Greeks called the giraffe a camel-leopard, which is obviously a cross between a camel and a leopard. You can kinda see where they got this notion, but the crazy hybridization doesn't end there. The leopard itself was believed to be the offspring of a lion, hence the Leo prefix, and the pard. If you just Google pard, the first result will tell you it's an archaic name for a leopard, but that clearly isn't what the Greeks had in mind. That would mean the leopard is a cross between a lion and a leopard, which is a cross between a lion and a leopard, which is a cross between a lion and a leopard, which is dumb. Pard comes from pardos, which was the Greek name for a male panther, and according to medieval bestiaries, it is extremely fast and covered in spots, one for every sin. The pard was thought to symbolize the devil for some baffling reason, but it's much more likely that it's a representation of a cheetah. Although any two of the four of the Panthera genus members can interbreed, the cheetah isn't actually among them. Cheetahs belong to the Acinonyx genus. Just so we're all on the same page here, the Greeks said that if you combine a camel, a lion, and a cheetah, you get a giraffe. Who'da thunk it? The camel-leopard isn't the only weird camel hybrid found in medieval bestiaries. There's also the allocamelus, or ass-camel, which has the head of a donkey on the body of a camel. It may be a period attempt to describe a llama, but that's a bit of a stretch, so let's go back to giraffes. When one was brought to a Ming Dynasty menagerie, it was called a chulin, and to this day the Korean and Japanese use the same name for both creatures. The chulin was said to be quiet and herbivorous, with the body of a horse, the antlers and cloven hooves of a deer, and the scales of a dragon. The giraffe's diet and quiet nature, along with its body shape, ossicones, feet, spotted coat, and impressive size, easily lend themselves to the mythic beast. In addition to the camel leopard, there's also the heraldic leopard. This isn't a hybrid between a lion and a cheetah, it's a lion looking to his left. I'm being completely serious right now. In heraldry, creatures face dexter by default. Dexter means right, but it's the right of the knight holding the shield, so the viewer's left. An animal which is blazoned guardant is looking out to the viewer, therefore facing its left. When you see an animal called a leopard in heraldry, it's actually a lion passant guardant. Although it has a mane and no spots, it's still somewhat controversial whether this is supposed to be a real leopard or just a lion variant. Period sources didn't much differentiate between the two. One rule, which was controversial even at the time, stated that you could only have one lion per charge but multiple leopards. There's also confusion of the two between French and English heraldry, so if you're really interested in the issue, I've got a link for further reading in the description. An alternate name for the heraldic leopard is the ounce, but the name ounce can also refer to either a snow leopard or a European lynx. Another leopard you can see in heraldry is a leopard's face, jaissant de lis. This is the head of a lion or a leopard, cabossed and skewered through the mouth with a fleur de lis. Returning now to Africa, let's talk about the monoceros. The name comes from Greek for one horn, and if that sounds like a unicorn, that's because it is. Sometimes. Sometimes it's its own beast, other times it's a name for a rhino, and very occasionally it refers to a narwhal. According to Pliny the Elder, the Monoceros has the body of a horse, the feet of an elephant, the tail of a wild boar, and the head of a stag with a single black horn roughly a meter long. It's a great and terrible beast, and its horn is indestructible. When a group of hunters have one cornered, it springs to the top of a precipice and leaps off. It falls onto its horn, which takes the brunt of the impact, and the beast escapes unharmed. Its mortal enemy is the elephant, and when they fight, the Monoceros attempts to gore the elephant's soft underbelly with its horn. King Manuel I of Portugal, who clearly thought the Monoceros and the rhinoceros were one and the same, arranged a fight between a rhino and a young elephant from his personal menagerie, but the latter panicked and fled before combat could begin. I don't blame it. I don't want to fight a rhino either. I want to fight a crocodile, but that's a topic for another video. According to the Greeks, in the mythical land of Ethiopia, anything goes. There were accounts of people walking on their hands and kynocephaly, people with dog heads. Both are believed to be distorted depictions of baboons. The latter was also said by Greek traveler Megasthenes to live in the mountains of India, where they communicated by barking, lived by hunting, and wore the skins of wild animals. It's quite probable he had other primates in mind. He also said India was home to the Astomi, people with no mouths who survived by smelling fruit and flowers. The kynocephaly may have also been influenced by Egyptian depictions of Anubis. If people with dog heads aren't your thing, how about people with no heads at all? The headless men, also known as acephaloi or blemiers, were first said to inhabit ancient Ethiopia, but later sources moved their homeland to India. India and Africa were also said to be home to the sciapods, also known as monopods, whose names mean shadefoot and onefoot, respectively. They got the names by dint of the fact that each one only has one leg with one giant foot, though they can leap with surprising agility. At high noon, when the heat of the sun becomes too great to bear, they lie down on their backs and shade themselves with their feet. No one's quite sure where the idea came from, but two theories posit that the shadefoot is either some kind of plant or a parasol. Ethiopia was also home to many other exotic tribes, including the Amicterai, people with extended lips, straw drinkers who consume no solid food, Marmini, who had 4 eyes, Antipodes, whose feet were on backwards, pygmies, and good old-fashioned cannibals. Africa and India are also both home to elephants, and dwarf elephant skulls found in caves on Mediterranean islands off the north coast of Africa may have inspired the infamous Cyclops. The rhino led to the unicorn, and let's not forget that the wildebeest probably inspired the cat Epp-Leppel. It's no wonder Aristotle said there's always something new coming out of Africa, or, as they say in Latin, ex Africa semper aliquid novi. If you enjoyed this little diversion from the grim, meaningless void of life, share it with a friend. I've always got my Twitter and AO3 linked below, along with my Amazon ebook shelf, so check them out. Thanks for everything, and have a nice day.